Welcome to the Steps in Purpose podcast with EdieAnne. This podcast explores emotional awareness, faith, and purposeful living through short, reflective conversations designed to help you notice where you are and take your next step with clarity. Thanks for being here. Have you ever noticed that moment where you are not checked out anymore, but you're definitely not feeling good either, and you just can't quite tell what changed? Welcome back, everyone. My name is Edie. Today I want to talk about survival and how people often slide into it straight from disengaged without even realizing that it happened. I've mentioned before how they both kind of coexist, disengaged and survival, and we teeter on that level of the gauge quite often, sometimes multiple times in a day, because these two levels sit right next to each other and they overlap more than most people expect. That overlap is why this transition gets missed so often. It's also why people feel confused about where they are emotionally, right? You just can't put your thumb on it. Disengaged feels like pulling away from life. Things are muted, softer, disconnected. You're showing up physically, but not really present emotionally. Rest feels heavy instead of restorative, right? It doesn't feel like you're helping yourself. And joy feels really distant or completely unreachable. And your system is asking for safety and quiet, so you turn inward without really thinking about it. Then something starts to change. You begin moving again. Sometimes you're forced into it, right? You get up even though you're tired. You start doing the things you have been avoiding. You show up to responsibilities, right? And from the outside, it looks like progress. And in some ways, it might be. But internally, it feels different than motivation or inspiration. What has returned is effort. That is survival. And survival often arrives pretty abruptly. You can still feel emotionally disconnected, like disengaged, while your body and mind are suddenly in go mode. That's why these two levels coexist during the transition. One foot is still numb and the other foot is braced, right? Survival is not about thriving. It's about holding things together. You are not energized, you are alert, right? You rely on routines, on discipline, and on pushing through. You tell yourself things like, I just need to get through today, or I will deal with this later. Survival says, I will manage this. I will carry it, and I will stay upright. And I want to be very clear here. Survival is not bad. Neither is disengaged. None of the levels are bad. Survival is loyal. It's strong. Survival kept you alive when things were hard. It stepped in when you needed structure and grit instead of softness, because survival is chaotic. The trouble starts when survival becomes the place you live instead of the bridge that you cross. I lived in survival mode for more than 30 years. That's where this work comes from, my experience in it. You might even recognize survival if you feel proud of yourself for getting through the day rather than enjoying the day. You might feel relief when tasks are finished instead of satisfaction. You might struggle to rest without feeling like you should be doing something, right? You feel guilty because you're laying on the couch. You might feel responsible for holding everything together and uneasy at the thought of letting go. This is a really important distinction, okay? Disengaged pulls you away from life. Survival pushes you through life. Both are protective, and both serve a purpose. Neither one of those is failure. The shift moment happens when you notice the push. Okay? It's that moment you realize that your jaw is clenched and your shoulders are tight. It is the moment quiet makes you feel uncomfortable. It's the moment rest feels earned instead of nourishing. It's the moment your inner voice keeps saying, keep going, even though your body's asking for you to ease it up a bit. That moment of awareness matters more than doing anything about it. We can heal from understanding. We can heal from acknowledgement. And so that moment of awareness matters more than doing anything about it. You do not need to fix survival. It's there for a reason. You just need to recognize it. Try saying to yourself when you notice that push, I am in survival right now. My system is protecting me. I am safe in this moment. When people do that, something usually shifts. The breath drops, the shoulders drop, the body softens a bit. The nervous system receives reassurance. Survival responds to safety cues more than force. The more you force, the longer you stay in survival. Now, you don't need to stop functioning, okay? That's not the point here. And you don't have to fall apart. You simply loosen the grip. And acknowledging that the grip is there is half the battle. This level heals through steadiness and rhythm, regular meals, consistent sleep, doing one thing at a time, lowering urgency whenever possible, letting predictability replace pressure. This is not the stage for forcing joy. Joy is going to come later. Right now, the work is stabilizing and learning how to stand again without bracing for impact. And I want you to know that if you're recognizing yourself here, hear this. You are not behind. You are responding exactly the way a human nervous system responds after stress and to stress. Awareness itself is the movement forward. And I'm proud of you for being here. So now listen, if this episode helped you recognize where you are, your next step can stay just as gentle. You can begin with my foundation book and let it meet you exactly where you are right now. Or you can move through the course at your own pace when structure feels supportive. Both are designed to walk with you through survival and beyond. There's no pushing, there's no rushing. It is your pace, it's your comfort, and it's your grace. So choose what feels steady for you and start right where you are, because that is enough. Thanks for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep stepping in purpose.